Anything for my princess.
I think I'm just going to start the podcast with that quote and none of the lead up. That's just you starting with that. I think that's in keeping with the tone of this movie.
Oh my gosh. What's your favorite?
I mean, I like the thing where the mom is like, I got the test results back. I definitely have breast cancer.
Oh, this movie's ridiculous.
It's so dumb. Okay, let's start this show.
Let's do it.
Welcome everyone to Afterthoughts. This is a podcast where we rewatch movies for some reason and discuss our first and second impressions. And then we talk a related topic. My name is Joshua Kuzemi and I'm here with my co-host, Coleman Taylor.
Oh, that's me.
And this week we're talking about The Room, Tommy Wiseau's masterpiece.
Masterpiece, absolutely. That is an absolute definition of this movie.
Oh, man. Okay. I mean, usually at this point, before we get into first and second impressions, you do a plot summary. Coleman recaps us through the plot in case you haven't seen the movie in a while. But what do you even say about this plot summary? What is it?
Let's see. Well, there's two people who are engaged.
Yep.
And they're very engaged at first, you think, till you find out that nope, the girl really doesn't want to be engaged and doesn't like him and actually likes his best friend. Mm-hmm. And they start sleeping together and all of these crazy things happen along the way that don't matter at all. And yeah, and they keep cheating.
Uh-huh.
And then he finds out. And that's all I'm going to say about the plot, because there's not so much of it is unimportant and doesn't matter.
Right, exactly. Oh my gosh. So, okay, we discovered this movie around the same time, right? I'm pretty sure the first time I saw this was with you.
Yes, although for whatever reason you weren't there the first time we watched it.
Yeah.
I think that's what really ruined it for you. But whatever.
Really?
Yeah, because it was like me, Christian, and Caleb all watched it together, I think.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember if Brett was there or not. I doubt it. I don't know why he would want to watch this awful movie. And we all thought it was hilarious, and then we watched it with you, and you were not about it. Not about...
But how did the fact that you guys had already seen it ruin it for me?
Because we just laughed so hard at it and thought it was wonderful as this experience. And then we had already seen it, and you were the only one who hadn't seen it yet by the time you watched it.
I feel like if I watched it with you guys for the first time too, wouldn't the reaction be the same? Like, wouldn't you guys laugh just the same?
I don't know. I think it would have been more genuine because it would have been our first time.
Interesting. Well, you're getting into my first impression. I did not enjoy this. I
know you didn't.
I enjoy it out of context. Absolutely. It's fun to talk about it. It's fun to like analyze what happened. Like, the story behind it is so much more fascinating to me than the movie itself. And the clips of it out of context, great. But sitting through the movie is an entirely different experience. It's a chore, even if it's funny. That's what I thought the first time. Like, I thought, man, this movie is still happening to me. When does it end?
Wow. See, I feel like it's just because you went to film school, you know. If you hadn't, you would have just let it wash over you of how terrible of a movie it is, and it wouldn't have mattered, and you would have just laughed the whole time.
No, we'll get into this for topic time, but I do enjoy a good bad movie.
Oh,
there are some great good bad movies that are hilarious to watch.
I guess we'll get into that later.
We'll get into it. I don't want to waste it. But there are. I do think there are. This is like, it's on another level.
Exactly. It's on a whole nother level. It's fantastic.
Oh man, it's a little too much for me. It's just so, and it's like I said, like truly, like clips of it will crack me up. So fun. It's like the 90 minutes of it all that's too much. Like this as a whole movie is too much for me.
But see, it's just that, it's like, because most bad movies that are so bad they're good do it on at least on purpose. In some degree, I would say they know they're a bad movie. This one, I feel like you honestly can't tell. Like, you don't know if he did it on purpose or not. And I think that puts it on a whole nother level of, did he genuinely think this was, like, gonna be a great movie? Or is he a genius that is just scamming us all? And I think that puts it, I know this is getting kind of into second impressions.
No, but I think that's part of what I was saying. Like, I think the story behind this and analyzing it and discussing it, that's the fun part. The least fun part of the Room experience is actually watching the Room.
Whatever.
But here's the thing. I'm realizing now that, like, we haven't really talked about, like, for those who aren't in the know or who've not seen the Room, we've just kind of been assuming everybody knows this is a bad movie.
This is a really bad movie.
What about it makes it so bad?
Oh, so many things. Let's see. Half the dialogue in the movie doesn't even make sense or doesn't
make sense.
Delivered correctly.
Yes.
Plot doesn't make sense. There's random, like, side B plots that just don't have anything remotely to do with the movie. He doesn't remember half his lines, so half of his lines are just voiceovered anyways. So many things.
There's a lot of ADR, yeah. And I love to describe it as, like, Tommy Wiseau is this alien who has observed human culture for a long time and is trying to replicate it. And is not doing a good job. Like, it's just so bizarre. There's that line where he's talking to Lisa and she's ordered a pizza and he's like, she asks him, she's already ordered the pizza. She asks him, should I order a pizza? And he said, I don't know, whatever, something to that effect. And she goes, well, I already ordered a pizza. And he says, you think about everything. not you think of everything. You think about everything. Like, it's almost human interactions, but it's not. It's just off in this weird way. And it's just, the whole movie is just, it's like that.
The entire movie.
It never lets up.
Oh, that's what's so great. It never lets up.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we watched it a couple times in college. Have you seen it since then?
No, just for this.
Okay. Yeah, same here. And I didn't know what to expect. I really didn't.
Yep.
Here's the thing, though. We're doing this because The Disaster Artist is coming out soon,
right,
which is James Franco's movie about the production of The Room. I'm very excited about it. But it wasn't until they released that trailer with him in front of the green screen that I had ever realized that this movie was green screen.
Yep, I'm right there with you.
I had no idea those rooftop scenes were all green screen.
I know, me either.
Like, I just didn't pay attention to it, or the dialogue was that distracting.
I think it's the dialogue was that distracting, because if you look at the background, it
definitely looks
super green screen.
I can't believe I didn't realize that.
I know.
And I don't think we're alone in it either. I think lots of people, maybe not lots, but I think there are people out there that were aware of it because of that trailer.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Definitely interesting. Okay, any other first impressions?
No. Thought it was hilarious. Unlike you. You thought it was kind of funny.
Well, okay. Let's dive into segments.
Let's do it.
Now, have you ever been more uncomfortable watching a movie than you were watching this week? It's so uncomfortable, especially because I watched it by myself.
See, I didn't watch it by myself, so that was your first mistake.
It really was a mistake.
God, that's gonna completely change your impression.
I know. I tried to get people to watch it with me, but I just couldn't. I couldn't get it to work out. So I watched it by myself, and it's a chore. That's the best way to describe it.
Oh my goodness. I will admit, so this time I did watch it with a group of people, and it was interesting to see the variations of who enjoyed it. Like, so my brother, Jake, thought it was hilarious and keeps quoting it all the time right now. And it's hilarious and I'm all for it. But then there were some other people who were just like, like thought parts were funny, but not as funny. And then some people who were just like, why are we watching this? Please turn it off. So it was interesting to see that. And it wasn't my first time seeing it, so I'll admit it's really just a first time watching movie, I think, for sure. I think it does have some rewatch value because there's just some parts in it that are so audaciously, flabbergastingly ridiculous. But it doesn't have the same impact as it did when you first watch it and see how awful and terrible this movie really is.
I really don't remember it making me feel this uncomfortable. And maybe it is because I was alone. But like Denny, first of all, Denny? Like, I kept thinking, it took me a while because eventually they do say his name a million times. But the first couple times I was like, Danny?
Yeah.
Why are they saying it weird? Danny? Denny? It's Denny, like Denny's, the restaurant.
Like the restaurant.
Anyways, so him saying like, I just like watching you guys.
Oh yeah.
So
weird.
Strange.
And that's within the first like 2 minutes of the movie too.
It really is. And like his age is sort of ambiguous because he acts like he's a much younger kid than he is. But then later don't they reveal that he's like in high school or college or something?
Yeah, he's absolutely, I think, in college.
Yeah.
Because he's like paying for his school,
strange.
I think. So he's got to be in college.
Yeah. Very strange. Very strange. And then 3 sex scenes in the first 30 minutes.
Also, 2 of them are the same. Do you know that?
The same.
He just like took
graphic scenes repeated. Yep. Yes.
He just took shots from the first one.
It's
so over the top.
So strange.
I think that's what hooked my brother though, because it was just such an over the top like scene. It's like a music video. There's music to it. It's weird. It's so weird.
It is weird.
Those are definitely the most uncomfortable parts of the movie. For sure. 100%. Absolutely.
In Act 1.
Straight up. That's like all Act 1 is.
It's crazy. Oh. But okay, I wrote this down and I have a couple of things to back it up. I think my biggest takeaway, though, is that I'm impressed this got made at all. Like, that they have a finished 90-minute product. Like just considering how bad it is, and considering, like, all the crazy stuff that happened behind the scenes, I can't believe they have a finished movie.
But not only that, it also sells out every weekend.
That's crazy to me. Because it's not super bad on a technical level.
Like, the movie Super Bad, is that what you're saying?
It's not. It looks better than like a soap opera. It looks better than like some student films. And he did sink a lot of actual real money into this production. So there are people
what
that
kind
like,
of money?
know what they're doing.
Sorry, that's a line from the movie, and I had to. What does that even mean? What kind of money? What is it? Whatever. Keep going.
That's right. That happens so much. What kind of money, Denny? Oh my god.
What kind of drugs? What kind of money?
It's just crazy. Yeah. So I was like a little impressed at how good it looked at some points. Not like amazing cinematography, but like you just remember, you look back at the room like what a terrible movie. But then if you watch it just on a technical level, it's like, oh, it's not as bad as the movie is. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I think the movie looks terrible pretty much all the time. And I think it just adds to its overall terribleness and how great the movie really is. The pure genius behind this movie.
It's crazy.
It's just crazy. Kind of into like how it even got made. But most bad movies, the dialogue at least still makes sense. It's just terrible. The dialogue doesn't even like make sense half the time in this movie, and nothing feels real or fluid at all.
Yes, yeah, that's where I think all the issues lie. Like, it could look better, sure, but I think the dialogue, the characters, the plot.
Everything about this movie is that what you're saying?
Yes. Is really bad. And just like nonsensical is really a good word for it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense, and it's so bizarre, and it's just I also didn't remember that Tommy's not in the movie that much.
Yeah.
There are long chunks where he's not in it.
There's all those B plots that make no sense.
Ugh.
Random introduction of characters that I don't even really know who they are. I don't know half the people they invited to his birthday party either.
And it feels like, I mean, it's this weird thing of like Tommy stars in it, he funded it, he directed it, he wrote it. And so the plot is also about like this, our main character is this paranoid guy who's like very good. Like, he doesn't do anything wrong ever.
Yeah.
But everyone just mistreats him. And so it's like this weird Tim Burton, Edward Scissorhands thing where he's trying to do that. Where he's trying to like tell a story about his life and about how mistreated he is and how nobody respects his vision. And it's just that element of it too is like so bizarre. Like, it's so weird to me that our main character is like this flawless good guy.
And everyone else around him is just terrible.
Greg is kind of a compelling character. If you had to pick one at gunpoint, Greg.
Which one's Greg?
He's the best friend who like wants to stop sleeping with Tommy's fiance.
You mean Mark?
Mark. His real name is Greg. Excuse me. Mark.
Come on.
Right.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh my goodness. But none of this movie makes sense. And it's...
No.
Oh, I just don't get it. I don't understand what the motive behind any of it was.
I don't know.
Because I would like to say where this movie falls apart, but it falls apart in every aspect. It's just, there's no redeeming qualities about this movie.
No.
Which again goes...
It's truly bad.
Which goes into what I'm saying. Like, I just really don't know if he thought this was like some great film, which astounds me. Because it seems so straight. It seems played straight, but it's just so bad. So bad.
It's really bad. Yes. I've always wondered, like, before it became like this cult phenomenon, was he like super pleased with the results?
I know.
Like, did he feel as though like his vision, his quote unquote vision, was like realized in this movie, or were there things about it he wanted to change? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I would want to watch it again with a group of people, preferably people who haven't seen it. I think that's the only time I will consider like rewatching it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you that at first act is still uncomfortable with a bunch of people.
You're right. Oh my god.
Depending on the group, it might even be more uncomfortable.
That's a good point. Good point. Maybe it's just kind of like a highlight reel thing.
All right, we're going to skip this whole first act. They love each other, but they don't. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Lisa is just the worst written character ever.
I don't understand her motive at all. Period.
It flip-flops. It only serves the scene at hand.
Yeah.
And then will change at will in the very next scene.
I know.
Crazy, man. Ugh.
So many of these characters don't make sense.
But I'm so pumped for the Disaster Artist. I think that's going to be a blast.
I do too.
I'm really looking forward to it.
I don't even really know what to say about the second impression, honestly. Like, it's you have to experience this movie. It's like to talk about, you have to have seen it because it's just so astoundingly bad.
Yep.
And really the only real difference was that it just didn't, it's not as funny or like astoundingly, I've probably said that so many times in this podcast, like bad as the first time you've seen it. Like, it just surprised me so much at how bad it really was. Because I'd always seen clips, but then actually watching it, all of it is like, none of this made sense. It's not just like one or two or three cheesy lines and then just bad acting, but like it kind of makes sense. Like none of it makes sense. It's all bad acting. There's a ton of terrible scenes. It's just crazy. And to see that for the first time is just insane that it's like that bad. And then watching it this time, it's like, it's still that bad, but you already know all of it.
Yeah, my second impression like solidified my first impression, I think. It's out of context, these clips are hilarious, just endless joy. But having to sit through them in sequential order, quote unquote, for 90 or so minutes is like, it's rough.
Yeah. And I mean, I get that. But the thing of watching it, in my opinion, is just kind of what I'm saying, just how bad it really is. I think because you get the clips and you're like, wow, this movie must be bad, but you only get the full experience of how insanely bad this movie really is by watching it.
If you sit down and watch it, yeah.
That's all I really got.
Should we move on to our movie poll for the week?
Let's do it.
Okay, movie poll. Here we go. In which instance is the dropping of an article more important? Option A, The Room, or option B, The Facebook? Because I wrote it as parentheses the room, parentheses the Facebook, because in both cases you take the away, you have two different things. So which is it more important? You take away the from the room and you have an Oscar nominated and Oscar winning movie. Take the from Facebook and it's cleaner.
Oh my gosh. Well, which one?
It was a 50-50 tie.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's ridiculous.
Equally important.
Of course.
And if you've learned anything from that, just never use the article the. Because in both cases, it made them better.
The Facebook.
Yep, there's our poll. That's all there is to it. I couldn't think of other examples. I thought that would be enough.
Yeah.
All right. And there it is.
There you have it.
Topic time?
Topic time.
So today we're talking about what good bad movies?
Yes.
Enjoyably bad movies.
Enjoyably bad. From this, it didn't even sound like you enjoyed it, you know?
That's what I was about to ask. Would you put The Room on a list of good bad movies to watch? Like you and your friends are like, let's watch a bad movie tonight. Is The Room a contender?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'd be iffy.
Yeah, you've made that abundantly clear.
I would be iffy.
I feel like this is the number one bad movie, honestly.
Yeah, and I did say earlier in the podcast that I do want to rewatch it, but that's just like a one-time thing. Once I do that, I don't know if it'll continue to be on that list. It would really depend on that experience and if it went well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have so much more fun watching like Face Off or Con Air with a group of people. Like that sounds awesome. Because those movies are so bad and it's so fun to watch with people.
Well, before we get into other good bad movies, bad good movies, whatever you want to call them.
Uh-huh.
Are you going to see any of Tommy Wiseau's other movies? However you say his name.
I know that he has other ones, but I can't imagine why I would ever watch any of them.
Well, hold on. One of them is called Samurai Cop 2: Deadly Vengeance.
Hang on. What's Samurai Cop 1?
It's funny that you say that because I was looking in IMDb at just other movies that Tommy is in. I'll just call him Tommy, even though I don't know him. And this movie came up, and then I also typed in good bad movies, so I'd have a list, and Samurai Cop 1 is totally on this list. So it's just funny that it's like a 1991 movie about a samurai cop.
That Tommy had nothing to do with?
I don't think he did.
That's weird. So he just like picked up the sequel somehow.
Yes.
Or got hired to do the sequel.
Well, he's not the lead actor.
He just directed it?
I don't think he directed it either. I think
What'd he do?
He's just in it.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
Yep.
That's really weird. Maybe I'd watch that if he's not in full control.
But him and Greg, whatever Greg Stanza, whatever his last name is, they have a movie coming out next year.
No way, Greg. Why are you still doing this?
Guess what it's called?
The Road.
No. Best Friends.
Oh my gosh. That's weird. I guess I would absolutely watch that.
Yeah, and Greg Sestero wrote it.
Wow. Oh, this is so weird. He's milking this now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, years later.
Jeez, dude. Yeah, I guess you got to get some years to get over it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, I would watch both of them. So, Samurai Cop 2 for sure, without ever watching 1.
Yeah, who needs it?
Who needs it? All right, back to good, bad movies that are unrelated to what we've talked to so far.
Okay, other than The Room, do you have a go-to good, bad movie?
Not a go-to, but there was one that I've been so interested in both watching all the way through for the first time and just rewatching. But it came on, I think it was on Sci-Fi. Sci-Fi would have this show where it would just have, it was like the first row of a movie theater, and then 3 people took up those spots, and they would just give commentary on these really bad movies. And it was about these flesh-eating worms, and it was hilarious. One part that happened, this guy, so you it keeps going back and forth between this family eating at a table, and you see these worms slowly eating the roots of a tree outside, and then the main character knocks over a bottle of salt or a little thing of salt, and that's when the tree falls, because knocking over salt's bad luck. It was astoundingly bad.
I thought for whatever reason I was like, wait, is it because they're allergic to salt? That's snails.
Yeah, it's
not worms. But I was like, what? I was so confused.
Nope. He just knocked over the salt and was like, oops, and they made a big deal about it, and then the tree fell on the house.
What is this called again?
I can't remember. It was just a bad movie about flesh-eating worms. I gotta look it up.
Bad movie about flesh-eating worms. It sounds terrible.
I know. Also, I've been really interested to see Troll 2 just because of the scene that everyone knows about.
Infamous scene. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, see, I fear that would be similar to The Room. Maybe not on quite that level, but I feel like that scene would be fun to watch in context. But would it really be that enjoyable to sit through Troll 2?
See, for me, I'd probably say yes. Probably love it all the way through.
I don't know. See, that's what I was like. This is what I was alluding to earlier in the podcast before we even got into The Room. I like stuff like Con Air and Face Off. That those movies are bad, but with big budgets and big name actors who are just hamming it up with ridiculous plots and over the top action and stuff. It's like the Fast and the Furious series is the ultimate good bad movie.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I want to enjoy and sit back and go, this is stupid and great. But the B horror stuff is always a little iffy for me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I've never seen any of the classic ones anyone talks about, like Sharknado or
I've seen Sharknado.
I know you have. Or Birdemic or any of those B movies that are very purposefully B movies. Right.
Yeah, you were saying it earlier. I think it does take away from it when you know that they're intentionally making something bad. That's why I don't think I enjoyed Sharknado very much. Because it was so obvious, you're trying to make this bad. And it's not fun.
So there's some normal movies, I would say, not B movies, that are on this list that I'm wondering if you've seen. Have you seen The Happening?
Is The Happening the one with Mark Wahlberg?
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen that clip because it's hilarious.
That clip. Have you seen The Wicker Man?
Wait, hold on. What's the clip?
I can't remember the first thing she says. She asks him something first.
Some old lady asks him something.
Yeah, and then he goes, "What?" She's like, "Thinking of murdering me in my sleep?" And he goes, "What? No!"
It's just the worst delivery
and
ever.
It's so bad.
It's so, and because he's a great actor, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, big name actors doing terrible jobs. It's so funny.
I know.
It's so funny. I love that clip.
What about The Wicker Man?
Haven't seen The Wicker Man.
Me either, but it's on this list too. I'm sure because not the bees, not the bees.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's that movie.
No. Also, I just typed in good bad movies, and the good, the bad, and the ugly came up.
That's ridiculous.
Get it?
So silly.
Because it's good and bad.
It's both. What about like Batman and Robin?
Oh, it's so bad. I can't even vouch for that one. I'll watch it anytime, but
it's fun to me. It's so fun. It's so bad. It's fun. Because Batman and Batman Forever, is that what the other one is?
Yeah, I was about to say, I still really enjoy Batman Forever just in general. Like, not because it's bad. I just genuinely like that one. But then when you get to Batman and Robin, it's so cheesy. When he takes out his Batman credit card, it's done. It's done. It's over.
Never leave the Batcave without it. Oh gosh. Should we talk about our our marathon of a certain horror franchise?
Yeah, absolutely.
A couple of years ago, we watched every single Final Destination movie. It was a blast, man. Those movies suck, and it was fun.
So bad. It was hilarious.
The first one's not that bad, but it gets real bad real fast.
Yeah, except for that one line.
Which one? Oh.
Yeah.
Is that the line? Yeah. Is that line from the first movie?
First movie.
I'm never gonna die.
Which doesn't make sense, because even if he wasn't being haunted by death, he'd still die.
It's so funny. Oh, that was such a funny moment. It was just the best part of that first movie. Awful. Oh my gosh. Have you seen Deep Blue Sea?
Yes.
That's a fun bad movie to watch.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's so bad.
Especially the scene with Samuel L. Jackson. Just out of nowhere.
Oh, on my list I'm looking at, they have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which we did earlier this year on the podcast.
and that, I think absolutely belongs
fun.
On this list. It's not fun.
But it's not
That's
fun
true.
to watch.
That's true.
It's just bad.
It's just bad. It's got a little bit of nostalgia to it, though.
Sure. And I mentioned two very specific moments that I really enjoyed. Some really bad, like, they were either puns or just terrible jokes or wordplay or something that I really liked.
Yeah.
Just go back and listen to that episode.
So what do you think? What do you think about good, bad movies overall? Both just people that are trying to make good movies that end up being bad, like really bad, and then also just B movies that are bad in general, kind of intentionally.
I think there's something really fun about watching an attempt at at something like we want to make this great action movie and then it's terrible and it's silly and nonsensical. I like that kind of stuff. Like Catwoman was an attempt at a superhero movie, you know, when superhero movies were huge and it just such a failure. You know, those are fun to watch. Especially because they're always filled with such like moments of like head scratches, like why is she playing basketball? It's a terrible movie. And I don't know, that sense of joy from a bad movie just isn't there when it feels intentional, or if it feels like, if it's like for me, if it's like this low budget B movie, quote B movie, like how good could that movie ever have been? Even if everything worked as well as it could have, it still wouldn't be as good as like a quote unquote A movie.
Yeah.
And so there's something about those that I like a lot less.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I agree. There's just something that attracts you to a movie that is trying to be good and it just fails. And seeing how they failed and how that makes it funny. I don't know. There's something that just attracts me to those movies rather than what we're talking about, the ones that are intentionally doing it just for kicks.
Yeah, and it's more fun to make fun of like a giant studio turd than like a bunch of people trying their hardest to make like an independent movie.
Yeah.
It's more fun to mock like big studio investments in like terrible movies and ideas.
Right.
That's always way more fun.
And then that's why The Room's so great, because it's not a big studio. It's just like an indie. And I'm going to err on the side that he was trying to make a great movie.
I think that he was. And reportedly, he dropped like $3 million.
Oh, my goodness. That's crazy.
Which is like not necessarily a studio budget, but it's definitely a lot more than your typical indie movie would get.
Yeah.
Especially in 2003. Like maybe not so much now, but definitely back then.
Right.
Craziness.
Well, I think that about covers it, though.
Yeah, there's lots of other really terrible movies, but I think we talked about some good ones.
Yeah.
If we left off your favorite bad movie, please feel free to tweet at us or leave us a comment on YouTube.
Please. We want to know.
Definitely. Is that the show?
That's the show.
Let's wrap it up. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to get your tickets for the Disaster Artists. I think it's just going to be fun, and I want to talk to people about it. So everyone go watch it and get back to us. Next week, I have no idea what we're talking about, but it'll be in the description. So check that out, watch that movie, and tune in next week. It's going to be fun. And yeah, that's it. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next week.
See y'all.